It's so wonderful that you all have made history. You have, to use the President-elect, a couple of hours up the road, yes you did. You overlooked some historical cleavages, salient cleavages and some issues in our society and our history, and you overcame those and you chose a Baptist. I want to say thank you to so many people, and I also said this, the good thing about giving a talk earlier, you can get bits and pieces of it, only Bill and Tom heard it before. So I had the honor of teaching Sam Bradford, the Heisman Trophy winner. He was one of my students last semester, a great student athlete, 395 in finance, and a great young man. If you heard his talk at the Heisman, and he said, I thank God for this opportunity. I thank all the people whose shoulders I stood on. As Isaac Newton said, and Sam didn't quote Isaac Newton, but he was thinking Isaac Newton. And I can see so far, to paraphrase him, it's only because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants like Walter Bortz and Josiah Bunting and those and the General John Wilson who came before me. And I also am standing on the shoulders and the head and the toes and everything of this wonderful woman who you'll get to know. You will call her mom at one point. President Bourne wrote a wonderful letter to her when he found out that I was named, that's my boss at the University of Oklahoma, and said, you're going to be a mother, you're a mother to 2 now, and you'll be a mother to 1,200 or so when you come here. And I wanted to personally and publicly thank my wife for helping me come so far on this journey, because if you're on a track to success, there's going to be people on your right and your left to help you get there, and I have the most wonderful woman in the world, which she tells me all the time, by the way. Comments, I guess, about this stepping into this journey together. I spent a lot of time in my classes talking about this leadership odyssey, and I'm always hesitant to do this, Tom, in front of real classicists who really understand antiquity much better than I do, but I've done a little bit of reading in this space, and I think about Odysseus and his triumphant battle in the Iliad, and how he makes his way back to the island of Ithaca to be with Penelope, to be with his son Telemachus, and how many years and how many trials and tribulations that he went through to get where he needed to be, getting back to that island. And I think about that as a metaphor for our lives, especially for the young men of Hampden-Sydney, these fine young men to my left. You're going to have all sorts of trials and tribulations, and our goal as a family, as a faculty, and a staff is to help you get there faster. What we want to do, gentlemen, is to accelerate your leadership odyssey. And at every given moment in time, I want you to take a step back and say, is Hampden-Sydney helping me accelerate my leadership odyssey? You don't need to take 20 or 30 years like Odysseus did. We're going to operate in the 3.0 version. We don't need the 1.0 version. We might even go with the Mac rather than the PC. We're going to brisk flip, right? It's going to be a relationship. It's going to be a dynamic, engaged relationship. I guess Socrates said, or Aristotle said, the only life worth living is the active life, or is the contemplative life, excuse me. But I think the only life worth living nowadays is the engaged life. And I encourage all the parts of the family here, the staff and the faculty and the friends and family of faculty and staff and the alumni and the board, to live this engaged life in this wonderful community. I want you all to understand that I expect you all to live a life of significance and consequence, whether it be as fathers or husbands, as brothers, as CEOs, as chairmen, generals. I expect you to live a life of significance. And it starts right now. It starts with this wonderful moral code that we have here, this thing we call an honor code. It comes with this wonderful intellectual bringing up you're going to have, this sound foundation you're going to have. And I can tell you, as a veteran of both generals, General Electric, right, and the general military of the war, the lessons and the tools you're getting in your programs from rhetoric or language or history or biology, that we're preparing you all to be good men and good citizens, all in the atmosphere of sound learning. I practiced that a few times. I would say also, as a family and as an institution, and I love to quote James Baldwin, the wonderful African-American writer and thinker, as it were, intellectual. He said, let America be what America must be. Let Hampden-Sydney be what Hampden-Sydney must be. This is a special place. And this is literally preaching to the choir, right? This is a special place. How many places are like this? If it's Wabash and Morehouse and us, we're in, as we say in Texas, high cotton. We're in high cotton in the sense that we have an opportunity to take young men and work with them and mold them and have them mold and shape each other. to become, again, people of consequence, gentlemen that go out and face the world, gentlemen that go out and change the world. So let Hampden-Sydney be what Hampden-Sydney must be. Let us recognize that, as I told before to the board, that there are no S's on Dr. Howard's chest. There's no Superman. The only S I have is for sincere appreciation for the opportunities that I've been given. I don't have a phone booth. I don't date Lois Lane. I don't do any of that stuff. But I firmly believe that as a team, and as an institution, and as a family, we can achieve anything. And I expect that from these folks right here especially. You notice that I'm looking at you all a lot. Because at the end of the day, there are 4 parts of the stool. It's the faculty, it's the staff, it's the alumni, and it's the students. But when I have to tip, one part of the stool is a little bit longer, it's you all. So we want to keep that in mind as we go forth and we make the proper decisions in this difficult economic climate, in this difficult time where we're fighting 2 wars. And Hampden-Sydney men are out there fighting in these wars. And I'm a veteran of one of these. And General Wilson has a little bit of a history when it comes to that as well, that we expect men of significance to come from this place. One last comment, I would say this, and that is, as we think about references and metaphors and allegories as it were, and I'm sure the rhetoric professors are going, don't mix a metaphor with an allegory. Let's get back to that. But I think about some Greek thoughts, either whispering right now. I think about a statue of Atlas that I have in our house that my wife purchased, and I say think a little less about Atlas sort of lifting up the world when you look at your new president-elect. And then I think about not just Atlas. I think about Sisyphus pushing that boulder up the mountain and never getting to the top. I think a little less about Sisyphus. I think a little bit about Sparta, and think about the Spartan on your left and the Spartan on your right. Now, I know all the guys here saw 300 and love that movie, so you get that completely. So let's think about it that way. Our outcome will be a little better than Sparta, right? But having said that, we will link arms, and the most important, the most valuable tool you can have is the individual on your right and the individual on your left, and that's the great enabler for you. So, not change the moniker or the branding of this institution, but I think it's very important for us to think about what it means to be a gentleman and to engage the world. And so I ask us to implore ourselves to start right now, to continue with the great traditions, or to build upon the great traditions that the First Family has started upon, and that we build and grow great gentlemen that are going to change the world, one gentleman at a time. Thank you.